Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Paleo Springs State Park and Happy New Year. As of recording this, I am recording this on New Year's Day. It's actually 0011 right now. So if you hear fireworks behind me, that's why. But I much rather would play Prehistoric Kingdom and record some videos for you all. So we are building here today, even though I know this video is not coming out on New Year's. I think it's coming out like 2 Fridays after that. Anyway, welcome back to Paleo Springs. We are building here today the Megaloceros habitat, the Irish elk. This is one of the animals that was added in update 13, and I absolutely love them. I wasn't super thrilled about them. Just like the cave bear, I kind of had my reservations, had some hesitations. I love all of the Cenozoic animals. I love all of the mammals that they have in this game. I don't know. I just didn't think that a cave bear or the giant deer was that interesting to me. Interesting fact about me, my first encounter with Megaloceros. I was always a dinosaur kid, so any of the Cenozoic animals I didn't really know too much about. So my first encounter with Megaloceros was actually in Animal Crossing New Horizons. If anybody has played that game, anybody survived COVID because of that game, the fossils in that program are incredible. They're super accurate, and that's how I was first introduced to Megaloceros. I think I had seen it before on, maybe PBS or the Discovery Channel or something like that. But again, I was a dinosaur kid, so it never really stuck with me. I was always more interested in the dinosaurs. But look at me now, and this park only has mammals in it, except for Coelophysis. We don't count that. But we mostly have mammals here in this park, which is crazy to think about. Really, with this habitat, I thought that it was going to be a much quicker build than it was. It ended up taking about an hour real world time. It was probably around the 15-minute mark into this build. Again, this is all sped up for you all to enjoy in a nice, timely video. But probably around 15 minutes into building this, I built this little walkway here, and that initially was my inspiration, my idea for this habitat here. I didn't really have anything to go off of from Pinterest or anything like that, just mostly from personal experience. Again, I grew up at the Jacksonville Zoo up in Jacksonville, Florida, and I live in Orlando now. But growing up there, they had deer exhibit, specifically white-tailed deer. And in my mind, I always try to base these habitats off of an animal that's alive today, if I can, just to sort of get a baseline as to how would you realistically design these exhibits. For a bear or a lion, that's completely reasonable and that's completely valid. We have bears and lions in real life today. Even the mammoth, you can kind of base off of the elephants, specifically Indian elephants, which I believe are their closest relatives. But for Megaloceros, the antlers threw me for a loop, and I genuinely did not know how big to make the entrance to the backstage area. Again, doing the same thing like we do with all of our exhibits. They have the separation barrier between the keepers and the animals so that they don't get gored by these giant antlers that are going in. But yeah, so that backstage area, you might see a little bit later. We did a little different than we've done with the other backstages in the past. So what we actually did with this one was we had giant bars instead of a mesh barrier or, you know, something sturdy, I guess. We're not worried about the deer trying to get out. Or these Irish Elks, these Megaloceros. We're not worried about them trying to get out. They can't squeeze through those gaps. But in practice, in theory, the keepers would be able to squeeze through those gaps if they needed to once the animals, you know, were closed off into the on stage or backstage or whatever. They'd be able to squeeze in through those gaps there in real life. And a lot of habitats end up having this in real life, namely rhino exhibits will have this. You'll see it a lot of times, and you'll actually see me building that again in the future once we do Coelodonta and Elasmotherium. Super excited for those as well, and probably even for Paraceratherium. I believe that is my favorite animal in the game so far. Yeah, I absolutely love Paraceratherium. But for now, again, we're doing the Megaloceros here. And I really love this exhibit. And I actually decided to build my own little chain link fence here for this habitat. It's super simple, super bare bones, super basic, nothing too crazy. But I didn't want this to be just another square habitat like I've been building. So I created that 4-meter little tiny chain link fence. Again, we're not worried about them climbing over it or anything like that, but it gives it just a little bit more texture to this habitat, which I really, really like. What you're seeing me do here, though, is another piece that I had initially as my inspiration. Again, I wanted this boardwalk here where the guests can sort of get an elevated view of Megaloceros, but I wanted the spring, hence the name Paleo Spring, to kind of feed into this habitat specifically. Now, I did actually have to exit out here because I got a weird bug where I was building and it wouldn't let me exit out of the that one little screen in the bottom right corner. You may not have even noticed it in the live stream or the speed build here, but yeah, I couldn't close out of it for whatever reason. I'm getting all sorts of weird bugs with update 13. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm loving all the changes, but there's some weird stuff that I don't really know. I hope they fix soon. Yeah, so anyway, here I am building this or creating this little channel here that goes underneath so the guests walk over it. I'm adding this mesh grating here. Again, I'm not worried that the deers are gonna escape out of here. But what I am adding this for is so one, nothing gets in. If say a Coelophysis gets out, it can't crawl into this habitat here on accident. Or whenever they add ontogeny or baby animals into this game, that will keep the babies from crawling underneath that gap if they're small enough. Again, I don't know how big they are because we don't have them in the game yet. I'm assuming they're a decent size. You know, probably the size of a baby deer today, maybe. I don't know. Who knows how big these animals are? I know the dinosaur babies are going to be really, really small, but for the prehistoric mammals, I'm really interested to see what happens here. Yeah, so here I am just, you know, going around, and pretty much this exhibit is done. It's going to stay like this for most of the rest of the video. So I'm going to actually leave it here for my commentary, and I'm going to let you all finish this out, and then we'll jump into the live play, and you can hear and see a little bit more of it in action, and there's a fun little surprise as well. So keep watching till the end for that little surprise that we have in the park here as well. All right, everybody. So we are back here in the live play now, and I think this exhibit turned out pretty well. You know, it was a quick one. It's not the most elaborate. It's not the most out there, I guess, but I love Megaloceros, and I think this is gonna turn out really good, and I think this is gonna be one of the better exhibits that I've made so far. I think that in the future, obviously, you know, we'll keep refining our skills and everything. I'm really happy how this turned out. I wasn't entirely sure how this little boardwalk area was going to turn out. Initially in my head, I had thought that this was going to be more of an open boardwalk, and then going into it and having this by the spring itself. I thought, you know, it might do well to be covered. We do get a little bit of weather here in this challenge park, so always good to keep the guests dry. Now, I am pretty happy as well with this chain link fence. Again, super simple, super bare bones, nothing too elaborate or crazy, but going in here and seeing, oh, damn it. Sorry, I gotta fix this. These rocks here, I gotta sink those into the water here. Are they sunk into the water? No, they are not, because I had snap onto surface, and the water is a surface. That's okay. I'll go back and fix that. But we do have, you can see peeking through here, our first albino of the park. We have, look at this beautiful animal here. You can still see the spots there. And I said albino, and that is the correct term here because you can see the red eyes. This is albino rather than leucistic because of those red eyes. If it was a leucistic animal, they would not have the red eyes. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that is the correct terminology there. And I mean, just look at this guy too. We may put the backgrounds that come with the game here on this concrete shelter, just to sort of distinguish it from the back and sort of make it blend in here. But look at this guy. I mean, he's absolutely phenomenal here. Actually, wait, hold on. There's a red eye. Yeah, no, that's albino. That's albino. Yeah, so here's our little Megaloceros habitat. I think it turned out pretty good, and I think they are pretty happy here in this nice little habitat. Because we are over the recommended size, we're able to add a third female into here. They're more than happy with that, and they're more than happy here in this little exhibit. So yeah, so that's gonna do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Again, there's a million things you could have been doing today, and you chose to spend a little bit of your time here with me in our little challenge park that we have going on. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't yet subscribed, please feel free to. That way you'll be notified when I have videos that come out in the future. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.